all of you. I am Dr. Bharathi, Professor of Obstetrics and Gynecology, District Medical College, Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh. Though there is enormous advancement in obstetrics, there is no replacement for natural or normal vaginal delivery. Hence, it is the responsibility of each and every person who deals with the delivery cases to learn and understand about the pelvis, fetal skull and physiology of labor. In next half an hour, I will explain about the pelvis and fetal skull.
Yes.
What is pelvis? Pelvis is a bony girdle present at the lower end of the abdomen which supports the trunk and transmits weight to the lower limbs in standing posture. Pelvis is constituted by 4 bones and 4 joints. 2 innominate bones, 1 sacrum and coccyx. Each innominate bone is formed by the fusion of ilium, ischium and pubis. So these 3 constitutes to form innominate bone or hip bone. Sacrum is formed by fusion of 5 vertebrae and at the end there is coccyx. 4 joints are 2 sacroiliac joints, pubic symphysis, and at the end between sacrum and coccyx there is sacrococcygeal joint. The right and left sacroiliac joints are named as per the maternal sacroiliac ends. Pelvis is divided into 2 parts, false pelvis and true pelvis by means of linea terminalis or arcade line. Linea terminalis starts from sacral promontory, ala of sacrum, arcade line of ilium, pectineal line of pubis, pubic symphysis, pectineal line of pubis of opposite side, arcade line of ilium, ala of sacrum up to sacral promontory. This line demarcates the above part as false pelvis, which is not significant obstetrically, and the lower part is true pelvis, which is obstetrically significant. Now I deal with this true pelvis. There are 3 components in true pelvis: pelvic inlet, pelvic outlet. In between is the pelvic cavity which forms a cylindrical structure. In living person, the cylinder is not straight like this. It forms an angle because of tilting. There are 3 components in true pelvis: pelvic inlet, pelvic outlet. In between is the pelvic cavity forming a cylindrical structure. In a living person, this cylinder will not be straight like this. It is tilted to form an angle with horizontal plane. This angulation is called pelvic inclination. This angle is around 60 degrees at the level of brim or plane of pelvic inlet. Whenever we describe and demonstrate the pelvis and fetal skull interactions, we have to hold the pelvis in this inclined position only. How to know whether this position is correct or not? In anatomical position, the anterior superior iliac spine and pubic symphysis will be in same vertical plane. Suppose if I keep this against a flat surface by making the anterior superior iliac spine and pubic symphysis to touch the flat surface. This is the correct inclination. And the upper part of the pubic symphysis will be in line with the tip of the coccyx. So this is the correct anatomical inclined position in which the pelvis has to be hold. Now I will explain about different pelvic diameters and different levels of the pelvis. In nutshell, the fetal skull will have average 9.5 centimeters of diameter, which has to pass through the pelvis. And pelvic diameters will be around 10 to 12 or 13 centimeters in average. There are 4 diameters at pelvic inlet level. One is anteroposterior diameter between sacral promontory to the pubic symphysis. Second one is transverse diameter between two farthest parts on the linea terminalis laterally. Third one is oblique diameter between sacroiliac joint to the iliopectineal eminence of the opposite side. And fourth one is the sacrocotyloid diameter from sacral promontory to the iliopectineal eminence of the same side. AP diameter can be measured in 3 ways. One is from sacral promontory to the upper part of the pubic symphysis. It is called as true conjugate or anatomical conjugate. Second one is from sacral promontory to the back of the pubic symphysis. It is otherwise called as obstetric conjugate. And third one is sacral promontory to the lower part of the pubic symphysis. This is called diagonal conjugate. From sacral promontory to the lower part of the pubic symphysis called as diagonal. The oblique diameter is between sacroiliac joint to the iliopectineal eminence of the opposite side, which is equal to 13 centimeters. There are 2 oblique diameters, right and left. Right oblique diameter is from right sacroiliac joint to the left iliopectineal eminence, and left sacroiliac joint is from left sacroiliac joint to the iliopectineal eminence of opposite side. Diagonal conjugate is the only one anteroposterior diameter which we can measure in a living person. If we want to measure obstetric conjugate, arbitrarily we can minus 2 centimeters from the diagonal conjugate, which gives obstetric conjugate. Third one is diagonal conjugate from sacral promontory to the lower part of the pubic symphysis. It is called as diagonal conjugate. This is the posterior sagittal diameter from the midpoint of the transverse diameter to the sacral promontory, which is equal to 4.5 to 5 centimeters. Sacrocotyloid diameter is from sacral promontory to the iliopectineal eminence of the same side, which is equal to 9.5 centimeters. It is present both on right and left side. Conjugate is equal to 11.5 centimeters to 12 centimeters. Obstetric conjugate is 10.5 to 11 centimeters, and diagonal conjugate is 12 to 12.5 centimeters. So, in between the plane of pelvic inlet and plane of pelvic outlet, the space is called as cavity of the pelvis. Here the important landmarks are ischial spines. These two are the ischial spines. Now I will explain about the outlet. Here the extent is from pubic symphysis and laterally ischial tuberosities, posteriorly sacral tip, and in the opposite side sacral tuberosity to the pubic symphysis. This is the extent of outlet. Here there are 3 diameters. Now I will explain about the plane of outlet. This is bounded anteriorly by pubic symphysis, laterally by ischial tuberosity, posteriorly sacral tip, and opposite ischial tuberosity to the pubic symphysis. There are three diameters at plane of outlet. One is anteroposterior diameter from pubic symphysis lower end to the sacral tip, equal to 11.5 centimeters. Second one is transverse diameter between two ischial tuberosities, which is equal to 9.5 to 10 centimeters. The third one is posterior sagittal diameter from midpoint of transverse diameter to the tip of the sacrum, which is equal to 7.5 to 8 centimeters. The plane of least pelvic dimensions is from sacral tip to the ischial spine to the lower end of pubic symphysis, again to ischial spine and sacral tip. This forms the plane of least pelvic dimensions. In this plane, the AP diameter is almost same as outlet, that is from sacral tip to lower end of the pubic symphysis, equal to 11.5 centimeters. Transverse diameter is in between two ischial spines, equal to at least 10 centimeters. These two are the ischial spines, most prominent one at the cavity. The plane of least pelvic dimensions is from sacral tip to the ischial spine to the lower end of pubic symphysis, and oppositely again ischial spine to the sacral tip. This is the plane of least pelvic dimensions. Pelvic assessment is done to know the type of pelvis and to know whether pelvis is adequate for normal vaginal delivery or not. Assessment at the pelvic inlet level is done by keeping two fingers into the vagina, directing towards the sacral promontory, and the lower end of the thumb has to hitch against the pubic symphysis. We have to see for the sacral promontory whether it is within reach or not. If it is within reach, it indicates AP diameter is less than average. If sacral promontory is not within reach, it indicates that anteroposterior diameter at inlet level is adequate. Pelvic assessment at cavity level is done by seeing the sacral curvature from above downwards and also from side to side, whether it is well curved or not. And we have to palpate the sacral tip. Then we have to see for sacrosciatic notches on either sides, which indicates if it is admitting two fingers easily, it indicates that space is adequate. If it is not admitting two fingers, that means the notch is narrow. Then we have to see the side walls on either sides. If the side walls are straight, it indicates pelvic space is adequate. If it is converging, it indicates the cavity is in funnel shape and space available is less. Then we have to see for ischial spines on either sides to see whether spines are prominent or not prominent. If spines are prominent and if we are able to palpate both spines at a time, it indicates that the space available is less. If spines are not prominent or at a time if we are not able to palpate both spines, it indicates that space available in between interspinous diameter is adequate. For assessment of outlet, we have to see for the subpubic angle, pubic arch and ischial tuberosities and intertuberous diameter. Two fingers are inserted below the subpubic angle. If two fingers are easily admissible under this angle, it indicates the angle is above 85 degrees. With the thumb, we have to palpate the ischial tuberosities on either sides. By taking out the fingers, we have to put 4 knuckles in between the tuberosities. If it is able to admit the 4 knuckles, it indicates the outlet is adequate. Pelvic assessment is done with patient in supine position in lying posture. 2 fingers are introduced into vagina directed towards the sacral promontory. We have to see whether promontory is within reach or not. If it is within reach, we think pelvis is not adequate. If it is not within reach, that means the AP diameter is adequate. Sacral curvature is palpated from above downwards and also from side to side. We have to see whether sacrum is well curved or not. Sacral tip is also palpated. Then greater sciatic notches are palpated on either side to see whether it is able to admit 2 fingers or not. If it is admitting 2 fingers, that indicates that sacrosciatic notches are adequate. Side walls are palpated to see whether they are straight or curved. If they are straight, it indicates that pelvis is adequate. Next, we have